Welcome to another edition of the intersection of science and Christianity. As a scientist who's also a Christian, I often get asked the question, what is the best evidence from science to support what you believe about your Christian faith? There's a few answers to that, but probably the first thing I would point to is the origin of the universe. 100 years or so ago, no scientists had any observational or theoretical evidence about how the universe came into existence. But over the last 100 years, the evidence, both from observations and from theory, points to the fact that the universe seemed to have a beginning about 13.8 billion years ago. This is what we call the Big Bang origin of the universe. Now, there's a lot of misunderstanding about what the Big Bang is. I've heard some people say it's some kind of cosmic explosion of gases. But the best evidence we have is that the Big Bang was actually the origin of everything we know in the universe: space, time, matter, and energy. And if the universe came into existence, if all this stuff came into existence at one time, then the cause of the universe cannot be part of the universe. It has to be outside the universe, what we call transcendent. So science has come to the conclusion that this universe apparently had a transcendent beginning, exactly what you would expect if some kind of deity, God, began it all. And so science points to the same ideas that the Bible says in the very first verse: in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. If 100 years ago you wanted to propose an experiment or observations that would give the best possible evidence for God, you could not do much better than coming to the conclusion that the universe had a transcendent cause, a transcendent beginning, and that's exactly where science has stumbled upon. Now, sometimes you read in the paper that scientists have discovered or come upon some theory that puts the Big Bang into question. And the reason that is said is because really the Big Bang has possibly two different meanings. One meaning would be the actual origin of the universe, and nobody knows for sure what happened then. We only know that the evidence is compatible to a transcendent cause. It looks a lot like God. So when you read that the Big Bang is somehow suspect or that there's evidence that it didn't occur, they're talking about that actual origin. Now, sometimes scientists refer to the Big Bang as about a trillionth of a second after that origin. And from that point on, there is no debate as to what happened. Everybody understands that the universe was hot and dense and much smaller at that point, and it's expanded and cooled since then. That much, the overwhelming evidence is come in both from observation and theory. So if you wanted to say what's the best evidence for God from science, one of them is that all the evidence points to a transcendent beginning of this universe, a cause that has to be outside the universe since everything in the universe came to existence. That sure looks a lot like God.